Hi here, Finn's here. I'm back for another video, and today, I heard something. Did somebody dial 999? Yes, because I think there's a crime going on. Everywhere you look at Eurovision, there's always a crime, and it's time for me to talk about the top 6 crimes of Eurovision 2019. Yes, my top 6 personal crimes of Eurovision 2019. The stuff that shouldn't have happened, really. This is my personal top 6 list, but you can comment down below what are your crimes of Eurovision 2019. I've got 6 of them, so let's get on with number 6. Or should I say number 22? Because I see 22, oh, when I think of you. Lately, that's all I do. Mind you now, when I see Sarah McTurnan from Ireland, I only see 18. Because that's the position she finished in. And I see 16, because that's the amount of points she got. Yes, my number 6 crime is Ireland coming last in their semi-final. I mean, last. I mean, I can understand, Ireland not qualifying. I can understand if it finished 12th, 13th, 14th, because it was a strong semi-final. But last in the semi-final, I don't... No, it was not the worst performance in the semi-final, without a doubt. Obviously it wasn't the best, but it didn't deserve to be last. I mean, it blows my mind Latvia got 50 points and this only got 16. And Lithuania did better. Everyone did better. I mean, I don't understand how... So basically, Ireland came last in the jury, picking up 13 points. And they came second to last in the televote, only being Austria, and that got, 0. So it only picked up 3 points. So it was 16 altogether. I don't know... It didn't deserve to be last. I'm putting it out there. Ireland did not deserve to be last in the semi-final this year. I thought the staging was really good. I like good LED. It had a good theme to it. Americans, 1950s diner kind of look to it. I thought the staging was good, especially when Sarah was on the table and it looked like she was with all the stars. It looks beautiful. I mean, yes, it did go on early. It was on second. But yet again, Nathan Trent from Austria in 2017 performed second and qualified, so I don't get it. I mean, I can understand it not qualifying, but finishing last. I think another problem is now Ireland is so underrated at Eurovision. I mean, Casey Smith and Caroline Cartby in 2014 didn't qualify, and that was a good song. Okay, the staging could have been better, but it was a good song. It deserved to qualify. Same for 2015. Molly Sterling, Playing with Numbers. Such an emotional ballad. Performed well, staged very beautifully. I mean, yeah, again, that was on second, so maybe... That song was called Playing with Numbers, so maybe... And this was called 22, so maybe you shouldn't have a song called... Have numbers in the title, and then you won't be put on second. Oh, I mean, Molly Sterling deserved to go through in 2015. And yet you have, Electro Velvet that get an automatic pass to the final. And then you had Ireland, obviously couldn't go to the final. I mean, that's just abusive power with Electro Velvet. But anyway, I am going on one. But overall, I think Ireland deserved better this year. They did not deserve last. But number 5 on my list is Bulgaria. Where are you? Number 5 was Bulgaria. Is Bulgaria withdrawing this year? So back in October, it was announced that the Bulgarian broadcaster decided that they were not going to compete in the 2019 Eurovision Song Contest, unfortunately. I mean, there are many reasons why they did decide to withdraw, mainly because of finance issues. Maybe I mean, there were many reasons, and a lot of fans were very upset people who lived in Bulgaria and people who didn't live in Bulgaria were very upset by the decision they were not taking part, because Bulgaria was becoming a strong powerhouse. They came 4th, 2nd and 14th in Lisbon, which was still a good result. It still made it the final. It's kind of weird. They were becoming a strong powerhouse at Eurovision, and then they decided to leave the party. So yes, I think Bulgaria was very missed this year. We definitely missed it because they were becoming so good now. And they were keep on qualifying to the final, and they decided to leave the party. I don't understand that. But hopefully, although we did miss Bulgaria this year, fingers crossed, they will hopefully, fingers crossed, be back. Ooh, excuse me. We'll be back at Eurovision soon in the near future. If not next year, then hopefully the year after. I really hope. Mind you, who knows? Because, you know, we've got so many countries that want to join Eurovision and countries who want to return. Is there going to be enough spaces for Bulgaria to compete in? So, yeah. But I really hope Bulgaria comes back soon in the near future to Eurovision. And maybe Junior Eurovision as well. But adult Eurovision first and then maybe Junior. Anyway, number 4. Number 4 is about the jury final. The jury final and the bottom 2 places the jury's put in. So, my number 4. So basically, this is about who the jury's put in the bottom last and second to last in the final. They decided to put Israel last with 0 points, and they decided in second to last that Spain got 1 point. Just 1 point. Yes, it was showing that Spain came last in the juries, and Israel came second to last. But obviously, because of the result change, which I'll get on to later, that wasn't the case. Instead, it was Israel 0, Spain 1. That blows my mind. Israel coming last with no points whatsoever from the jury. I'm really surprised about that, because I really thought Israel's song was more jury-friendly than Televote. I thought juries were supposed to respect Kobe's vocals and his abilities and the song itself. I'm really surprised. I mean, there's a lot of stigma, host countries don't do well. Oh no, Azerbaijan 2012, When the Music Dies. That was the jury to place that high, so I don't understand. And with Spain only picking 1 point for the jury, I mean, I can understand. I mean, the staging could have been better. I do think there was a lot going on with the puppet and the house. It could have been better. But I wouldn't have just given it 1 point. Thank you for that country who only gave Spain 1 point in the jury. But not even Portugal gave, the Portuguese jury, I should say, didn't give any points to Spain. I mean, that was my favourite of the automatic qualifiers this year, Spain. And only got 1 point from the jury. I'm like, no. I mean, I can understand the staging. Probably let down the song a little bit, but I wouldn't have just given it 1 point. It's such a shame, and the televotes put it 14th, so obviously, yeah, there's something about this. I can understand, the juries are going to vote differently from the televotes, but yeah, it's strange for me. Anyway, I move on to number 3 now. But this is probably an act that did deserve to get nil points if it was competing. Yes, I'm going to get a lot of stick for this. It was Madonna's performance as number 3 Crime. Oh my gosh. I remember watching it and it was, oh my gosh, it was awful. I mean, honestly, how much money did they pay Madonna to go to Eurovision? $3 million, $6 million, something over $1 million. Ugh, just for 2 songs. I mean, there was a lot of hype surrounding Madonna to come to Eurovision. But, I mean, the performance itself... Now, by the way, I'm not dissing Madonna herself, because she's been in it so long. I'm not saying she should quit music or to stop, but I have to be honest with you, that performance was awful. The vocals were shaky, they were out of tune. I mean, she sang 2 songs. One was one of her new songs, and the other was Like a Prayer, because it was like 30 years and she released it and all that, which I can understand performing that. But Like a Prayer used to be that happy song. When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees, I want to take you there. It's quite a happy song when you listen to it on the radio. But when she performed it at Eurovision, it was like, in the midnight hour, I feel your power, just like a prayer, I want to take you there. It felt like the most depressing song in the world when they performed that. And it felt like a cult, really. It felt like a cult I couldn't get out of. It just... And then you had this rapper who came from America, didn't know where he was. He thought he was at Nando's, but instead he was on the Eurovision stage. Yeah, it just didn't work out. It's compared to, like, Justin Timberlake with Stockholm 2016, you know, he performed that one. Why couldn't, I don't know, and it took over all the media coverage, and people forgot who were the actual contestants, and it's such a shame. But number 2 was the result change at Eurovision. Now, I'm not going to go into it too deeply because I have talked about it before, but yes, first of all, the Belarusian jury talked to each other during or after the semi-finals, which is a crime in itself because that shouldn't happen. So they went for the EBU decided to go for a system where we didn't have juries for the Belarusian jury. So it's a pop thing, but obviously the results were wrong because they showed the bottom 10 from Belarus instead of the top 10. So it really messed up the whole system. Yeah, it was a shame, and North Macedonia should have been that last country to get their points, and instead it was Sweden, and it was disappointing. I've talked about it before, so I won't go into too deeply, but it was such a shame, and it shouldn't have happened. But my number 1 crime of Eurovision 2019, and for you, my viewers, I've got a very uncomfortable question to ask you. Ukraine is my number 1. Number 1, of course. Well done. Yes, it's Maruv not taking part in Eurovision 2019. So the story is, Maruv won Big Bar, which is the Ukraine national selection, and well done to her, and rightfully so. But she did not decide to go to Eurovision because there was a contract that she didn't want to sign because she had to, it wasn't allowing her to do gigs in Russia, and so on and so on. So she didn't take part, and it was such a shame because she had such a good song. Bang, do 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 do, and yeah, etc. It was such a good song, and it was such a shame we didn't see Maruv at Eurovision. It would have gotten a very good result for Ukraine at Eurovision. I think it would have gotten definitely a high televote. I'm not sure how the juries would, but it still would have qualified to the final. It's such a shame. It's such a pity because, and not only did we lose Maruv, we also lost Ukraine. They did not take part because they couldn't find anybody else to replace her in the end. It's such a shame. We know Ukraine will be back next year. They've already confirmed it. I still have faith that they might internally select Maruv next year, but you don't know. I've got my fingers crossed for Maruv 2020. Who knows? But it was such a shame because it was such a good song, and it was never performed at Eurovision. It was a song that was never meant to be, unfortunately, and felt like a waste of a national selection after all that. And Ukraine decided to withdraw altogether. Anyway, such a shame. And those were my top 6 crimes of Eurovision 2019. Comment down below What are your crimes in Eurovision 2019? Like and subscribe this video, and I'll be back for more content very soon.